Hi, this is Mike, and it's December 29th, 2023, and we're back to discuss the recent amount of calls I've been getting from people because the state's rejecting their signatures on their oath card, and people's signatures are getting rejected on things that they notarize because they don't match. The state's scrutinizing this more than ever. So, when our signatures on something we notarized are checked after the document leaves your presence without your knowledge, this is happening more than ever now because of the rise in fraudulent criminal activities, and the state has more resources now to verify people's signatures when they take an oath. That can be either initially when they pass the exam or when they renew. In other words, you get your new oath signed. Now you upload it to the state's database, and I don't know if they have AI checking these signatures or what, but some people have been getting rejected because they signed their signature wrong. It didn't match their name. So here we have a New York Post article showing the year-to-date 2019 to 2023 increases in crimes. This doesn't have white-collar crime here. However, white-collar crime is paper, fraudulent paper, and that can reflect notary acts as well. So crime's on the rise. When crime's on the rise, things start getting scrutinized. So this is just how the law is written about notary signatures, and it's a little confusing to follow, but we'll just read it. It's a little dry. Bear with it. We'll glean what we can out of this, and then we'll break it down in everyday layman language. The county clerk of a county in whose office any notary public has qualified or has filed his autographed signature and the certificate of his official character shall, when so requested upon payment of a fee of $3, affix to any certificate of proof or acknowledgement or oath signed by such notary anywhere in the state of New York, or certificate under his hand and seal stating that a commission or certificate of his official character with his autographed signature has been filed in his office, and that he was at the time of taking such proof or acknowledgement or oath duly authorized to take the same, that he is well acquainted with all the handwriting of such notary public, or has compared the signature on the certificate of proof or acknowledgement or oath with the autographed signature deposited in his office by such notary public, and believes the signature is genuine. I think that's a run-on paragraph. That's about 4 paragraphs in one before you get a period. An instrument with such certificate of authentication of the county clerk affixed thereto shall be entitled to be read in evidence or to be recorded in any of the counties of this state, in respect to which a certificate of a county clerk may be necessary for either purposes. So what that said was the county clerks have your signature deposited in there, and when people need to authenticate that signature after you've notarized for them, most of the time you don't know they're doing this. If the signature that you signed didn't match the signature that they have deposited, they reject it, and then the people's paperwork can't get done. So they pay $3 for this certificate on anything you notarize, and it lists the things the certificates we notarize. So let's break that down and talk more about that. So when a notary marries during the term of office for which he or she was appointed, he or she may continue to use the name under which he or she was commissioned as a notary public. However, if he or she elects to use his or her marriage name, then for the balance of his or her term as a notary public, he or she must continue to use the name under which he or she is commissioned in his or her signature and seal when acting in his or her notarial capacity, adding after his or her signature his or her married name in parentheses. When renewing his or her commission as a notary public, he or she may apply under his or her married name or the name under which he or she was formally commissioned. He or she must then perform all his or her notarial functions under the name selected. So what it says is if you change your name for marriage, also there's another part in the law that says you can change your name for religious purposes, like get a title on it, like priest, rabbi, reverend, monk. Um, what you do is change your name officially when you renew. So if you change your name before you renew, you can't start signing the new name unless when you're married you could do this. So this person was appointed under Mary R. Smith, and she still has time left in her 4-year commission. So she's going to sign Mary R. Smith. Notice that the signature has to match the name. Okay, so then she would put in parentheses after her signature of her appointed name during the remainder of the commission her new married name if she wants to use both, Mary Smith Johnson. So she got married and changed her name to Mary Smith Johnson. So this is not mandatory. You can keep doing it without this uh, additional married name. This is if you want to have both. But if you don't do this, you have to always notarize with the signature of the name you're appointed under for the remainder of the 4-year commission, because that is the signature and name that they have in the county clerk that they'll always check to authenticate. So once again, when renewing his or her commission as a notary public, he or she may apply under his or her new married name or the name under which he or she was formerly commissioned. So you have a choice to keep your old name even though you've changed your name in the world to your originally commissioned name, or you can update it to the new married name and then deposit a signature reflecting that for the next 4 years. All right, so that's a mouthful. So this is where you're always signing initially when you pass the exam. They send you this oath form and you're signing down here, and when you renew, you sign the same oath form and sign here. This is where the signature is that's going to be deposited in your county clerk that must match. So our traditional notary signature of record is filed with the county clerk we are assigned to when we are licensed initially and changed every 4 years when we renew. When we sign the traditional oath of office to be notarized every 4 years, the new signature is captured and filed at the county clerk's office you are assigned to. The remote online notary signature, RON, however, is authenticated digitally and is not authenticated this way. Those are authenticated by the security measure incorporated in the software you use that was pre-approved by the Secretary of State during your RON license approval. So we have a remote online notary course, and it takes you through the upgrade to a RON license, and then it takes you through software videos showing you how to do this with the state. So don't fall into the common trap of changing your signature during the 4 years of your commission term because you changed your name for marriage purposes. You forgot how you signed your oath. I spoke to somebody 2 days ago, and the state rejected something he notarized because he has different versions of his own signature. You are in a rush and shorten your signature. You add or delete a middle name or initial, like you've been married and divorced and you have 3 versions of your name, or you already have many variations of your own signature, like you use your initials or you sign it out. We hear this a lot from the calls we get. So even though you may not be forging your own name, it may be rejected as a potential forgery by the Secretary of State or the Division of Licensing Services. So if someone is required to authenticate your signature after it leaves your presence in order to satisfy the requirement of getting in an authentication certificate, which we saw was a $3 fee that that person pays, you don't even know they're doing this usually after you've notarized something. In order to complete their document, filing it could become problematic. If your signature does not match, the following can occur that affect you and your life dramatically. 1, they can have the document rejected and could have to start the process over, and they may or may not complain to you. They may just go to another notary. They might report you for suspicion of impersonating a notary public. You might have to get a hearing to determine if your license could be lost or suspended, and the person could sue you in civil court for missing a filing deadline because their paperwork couldn't be completed, and or potential monetary damages. So once again, you might have different versions of your own signature. Everybody does, but when you sign your oath and you renew, put that signature version in the cover of your journal. We're all required to have a journal now. That way you can always make sure you're consistent. So if you change your name during the 4-year commission, you'll have the opportunity to change the signature to reflect your new legal name only at the time of renewal. Tip: now we're required to own a journal logbook. It's a good thing for you to keep. For keeping us on our toes and organized. Write the signature on the top of the first page of your journal exactly as you signed your last oath of office. This way you cannot go wrong. You'll see how you wrote it every time you open up that journal to log something because we're required to log it in there and keep that record for 10 years. 4 years is a long time for your signature to possibly get corrupted by the way you sign. So to sign up for this newsletter that you might be watching in YouTube, go to www.howtobecomeanotary.ny.com. You can call anytime with questions, 347-427-9091, extension 1 for questions. Visit this website also for free notary practice exam sample if you're somebody who's getting ready to take your exam. Notary exam prep classes, online or in person. Our online prep class is very good for those of you that are licensed to update. We updated it with all the new remote online notary information. And we have a remote online notary training course in there now too if you want to upgrade your traditional notary license to include remote online notary where you can charge $25 a signature. Discounted notary logbook, stamp seals, and the notary license wall display. Is it time for you to display your license on your cubicle at work or the wall and let everybody know your increased worth there at work? Remind your employer that you did that, and that's something that works to their advantage and should work to your career advantage. Join the Notary Association free newsletter at that website and get these videos and much more than what is shown on YouTube. Okay, so please like, share, subscribe, comment, and turn on the notifications bell. We're going to have a lot more videos coming out to you because things are happening fast in 2024. Happy New Year. This has been Mike. We'll see you in the next video.